Hi everyone. I hope you're ready for some more super interesting words from our next panel. This will be a focus on tech, finance and partnerships and how the ecosystems improve by working together. And also a little bit on how that will look in the future. And I think that's the core why many of us are here. We're working with partnerships and we're interested in it for one or the other reason. And this panel has a lot of experience with partnerships as large organizations, as tech companies, and sustainable fintechs. So I'm really looking forward to learn more during this panel and looking forward to hear from the expertise and the immense experience they have. I will let each of them introduce themselves, so I will just hand over to the moderator and Head of Innovation at SimCorp, Anders Kirkeby. Welcome.
Thank you very much. With expectations set like that, I guess we have to deliver now. So I think in interest of time, I'll just do a quick introduction of everybody and then we'll get right into the questions. And please do remember that if you do have any questions, you can use the app and ask questions along the way and we'll try and keep an eye on them and actually see if we can answer something here. Somebody just cued in music.
Anders, I heard you loud and clear at least.
Okay, it's just up. Okay, I've just got the whole thing running in the background.
I don't. What about
later?
Okay, so you're just looking at me not saying anything. Fair enough.
Exactly.
Okay.
But it was lovely music, though.
Okay,
Yeah.
I killed the entire app, so that means I can't see the questions now, so I'm not quite sure how that works. So if somebody can see the questions, please just drop them into the Teams chat and we'll take it from there. Okay, so my name is Anders Kirkeby. I head up Open Innovation at SimCorp. And I think just why do we talk about partnerships? It's really because at least my experience is not enough just to open up our systems, in my case it's enterprise software, and just expect value to be created. Somebody actually has to deliver value out of these APIs and the openness and such. And that is really where the partnerships come in. The partnerships bridge the idea of APIs providing value just by being a toolbox. But I'm joined by a really esteemed panel today. So we've got Erik Gudwasser from MasterCard in Stockholm, Division President for Nordics and Baltics. We've got Cecilia Pinsky, who's CEO at Green Assets Wallet in Stockholm. And we've got Petter Lee Johansen, who's heading up strategic partnerships at DNB in Oslo. And the partnership agenda in general in fintech and regtech is super interesting. And I think to me, it's really about what matters here is that in fintech, we spend so much time talking about the great product or the great service, but it's not quite enough to just have a great product, as many sort of startups have found out. You actually need something to get out there and meet the clients and make stakeholders happy. And maybe that is partnerships, at least I would argue it is a part of the time. So I think that's really what we're going to explore a little bit in the next few minutes. What is our experience in this space? So I think let's just start out with basically why partnerships. So we have open APIs, we have standards, we have all these wonderful things, but we probably need partnerships as well. But why is that? So I'm just going to pose that question to each of the panelists, and when you guys answer the question, maybe also just give a quick introduction as to what do partnerships actually mean to you personally, or for what you do right now. So let's start with Cecilia.
Thanks so much, Anders. Without the music and everything. So I've been working with sustainable finance for the better part of my working life, now with fintech as a lever. And to me, sustainable finance and sustainable investment all boils down to partnerships. It's about partnering up on the sustainability transition. You have investors and financiers on the one hand, and then you have investees and borrowers who implement projects on the other hand. So it's all about partnerships to succeed with sustainability transition in terms of finance. So the Green Assets Wallet, it's a global trust platform for green bond validation and impact reporting. And this is an entirely new green finance innovation. It uses blockchain, other emerging tech. And this creation of this new solution has been a cross-sector partnership. We would not be the green as a solid had it not been for those partnerships, where we have convened investors, bank, tech innovators, green bond issuers, researchers. So this is very much the result of a partnership. Then also the green as a solid as it exists is designed to build trusted relationships or partnerships between investees and investors to help scale this market.
Makes sense. Pesa? Why partnerships?
For me, I think I've seen that the partnership has been more and more important as we go more and more digital. So for me, partnership and digital has been very much going hand in hand. You see everything is going much quicker. Innovation goes much quicker. As a big corporate, we are not able to innovate and doing everything ourselves. We need partnership to actually to deliver on our on our goals.
Very good. Eric?
Yeah, I think for me, partnership is everything. I think partnership for MasterCard, what is MasterCard without our partnerships? Nothing. We actually don't work at all without our partnerships. We're global infrastructure working with local partners, and through the local partners we can achieve both a global network, but that is customized and localized, and someone meeting with the customers all around the globe. So that is actually the foundation of everything we do, and the reason also for me personally why I joined it, because I love working in partnerships. And to what the others said, Petter and Cecilia as well, I think partnerships is even more important the quicker the market moves, and the market for within payments is moving rapidly, and then you need to partner up, and that's the only way you can have both a global scale and a local adaptation. So we call it local overall, and that is the key for success.
That's good. So I think a common theme in what all of you mentioned is effectively there's a network effect that you need to nurture in order to get value out of investments and services in this wider fintech space. And Eric, you just mentioned you love the partnership, sort of the partnering angle. But in my experience, it's easy and it's fun to sort of meet lots of interesting startups and investors and various firms you might work with. You can also go out for a drink, you can go out for dinner, and it's really good. But getting stuff done is actually is much harder work. I think it would be interesting to hear what you sort of, if you've got any insights or golden nuggets as to how do you actually get these relationships or partnerships to really deliver value, because it's not enough just to get a signature. You actually need to align the resources you have internally in your organization to deliver, and the same goes for the other parties that are part of the partnership. Maybe Eric, you want to pick up on that one?
Absolutely, more than happy to do that. I think overall with a partnership, I think the time that you go from being a partner to becoming a supplier, then you have failed. So I think what it is about a partnership for me, it is for sure about building a relationship to ensure that you're working together and have a common interest, that you complement each other in one way or another. And if you complement each other and together 1 + 1 becomes 3, I think then you can truly create value. So I think partnerships needs to be built on value. So if it's purely about that you both like football or going and seeing and having nice dinners, I don't think that will never be a partnership. That might be a friend relationship. And the other thing, if you don't have any partnerships at all and don't have that thing that you get to know each other and trust each other, then you become a pure supplier. And a pure supplier, then you will have one driving force that you will just deliver on. But I think if you find a common agenda that if this business goes well, it benefits both parties. And if you're successful with that, that is when you can drive things also during hard times. Like now, COVID, I think is a good test of that. I think now you really recognize which ones are your partners and which ones are the ones that just want to squeeze you because they get a chance potentially. So I think standing up for each other, then you need a personal relationship and having a common agenda and a long-term same vision. I think that is key for the partnership. And then I think you have a right thing to build on.
Sounds good. Peter, do you feel squeezed at DNB by not quite partners?
Yeah, some of the vendors would probably say, I would say yes, but I think one of the points that Eric make there is very important. The thing about developing long-term partnership and having this continuous business development. If it's just a one-off, it's not really a partnership. It has to be this continuous business development, trying to find this win-win situation continuously, having resources to put in the effort to build the trust and have build the partnership stronger and stronger. And in the same case, it's also about saying no, right? If it doesn't work, quit it as soon as possible as well. It's not necessarily good for people just to drag it out either. So it's a different perspective there.
Absolutely. What about you, Cecilia? You're running a startup, right? So you have greater chances of being squeezed by various parties.
Yes, but I thought what Eric said was quite interesting. But I would actually like to argue that we probably are a supplier and a partner at the same time, because we are sharing the values of the users of the Green Assets Wallet, and we are co-creating continuously, asking for input, feedback, asking questions such as, we share this vision to finance a sustainable transition. What are hurdles in the system, and what can we do to support you, and what would that look like? And then we create something and test it together through a partnership. So we do share this vision and have the shared value, which I think is absolutely imperative. But at the same time, we do supply the outcome of that partnership. So that's interesting. Yeah.
For me, that is a partnership. Then you're not just a supplier. Then you're a partner.
Also, we have a partnership with MasterCard now, and I can tell that MasterCard is really well versed with being constructive about partnerships. And this is for impact companies, and it's all about being very articulate about what we wish to accomplish through this partnership, and so that everyone is aware of what we're working towards, which is really interesting.
So both Cecilia and Eric, you mentioned this that it's really key to have a shared vision. That's easily said. What does that actually mean? What is a shared vision? How do you articulate that?
Well, for us, it's all about financing the sustainability transition and scaling green debt finance, scaling financial transactions to measurable and validated outcomes in the real economy.
Yeah, but I think also, sorry for interrupting there, but I think some of the things with partnership is that it's very often not off-the-shelf solutions. So you don't know the road when you go to reach the goal. So the common vision is very important to have alignment on that, and then you kind of find a way to how to solve the end goal. And so I definitely agree that that's very important.
Mm-hmm. So one way of interpreting what you just said there is that you have to have the vision, because that's right, the direction, so kind of in where you're going, sort of, but actually you don't know anything, or at least not much, about how exactly you're going to get there. So that's kind of a joint learning exercise in one way. Have you felt sort of a challenge in selling that kind of way of working with partners internally? Because you will have colleagues who will be focused on the bottom line and sort of an incrementalist or sort of incremental way of learning. It sounds a little bit fluffy to some ears, to the CFOs amongst us. Peter, is that something you've experienced?
Yeah, every day. I think that's my everyday life. But it's from an organization like DNB, coming from a place where you can more or less build everything yourself, to actually work together with others to solve problems. It has been a tremendous travel. I think we learned a lot the last years, but it's culture travel, and it's also on the technical capability. You mentioned APIs earlier, and it's a lot of components there, and also the process, making sure that contracts and everything is made for partnership. It's been a journey, definitely.
Eric, do you have a challenge of explaining the incremental path?
I can just agree on a lot of things that Petter just said here. I think overall, partnerships for us, we are really long term. Like a short relationship for us is 5 years. So we are used to invest for the long run. So I think that is part of our business model overall. But with that being said, is that what we're doing is that we're shifting who are actually our partners. Historically, you would only, like if you have a customer meeting for us, you would only have banks that are issuing cards. I think now they are for sure an essential part of what we're doing, but you have also government entities, a lot of fintechs, and a lot of much wider agenda. And I think that's what it's about. You need to partner up with all parts in the society to drive this change. And as I said previously, it's going fast within this area. And I think if we have within the last 5 years, it's happened more than our history of 50 years. So it's happened a lot in a very short time frame. And what you need to do then is to get the whole organization to move from being able to move rather slow to move much faster. And I think, and at a localized level, being a global company. And I think that combination together is a very, very interesting combination. And then you need to have the trust from the global corporation to do things locally. For example, Cecilia mentioned that we're working together. So we have, for example, a local fintech partnership called Lighthouse, which is a local initiative that then feeds in also to our global program within fintechs. So finding that balance is important, and having an understanding that all markets are different, but still to be able to leverage that global scale. And that balance is not easy, but I think we need to find it, and we need to find it quickly.
Cecilia, in the beginning, you mentioned sort of what I would call a network effect. So the need to have a network of partners, which together basically brings about the value you want to create for the world. How do you actually go about that? I mean, how do you find the right partners to do that? Is that via having lots of conversations and then seeking out the ones with the right vision, the right shared vision, or how do you do that?
To be honest with you, oftentimes they find us, and I think because we are very clear about what it is we wish to achieve, if that resonates with someone, they reach out to us. So we've been fortunate in that sense. But I was thinking about what Eric said about global versus local as well. We have that. I mean, we're a small company, obviously we're a startup, but still we need to manage different perspectives and interest, because there's the market in Africa is developed in this way, whereas the market in Asia is over here. So obviously we need to manage those different expectations on how the Green as a Wallet can service them. And that's something that it has worked out really well, but it's something we always need to keep in our heads, so that we make sure we can service all different actors towards the same vision.
So Eric, did you find Green as a Wallet? Is that how it worked?
Yeah, I think that was actually through this Lighthouse program. So we have other partners that were working together. So we all teamed up, and then we, through our common network, I think we find each other. So we have again there we need to complement each other. So we have everything from investors to legal aspects to ourselves to banks to others, and together we can do something that is good for the fintechs and therefore also benefiting all parties taking part of this. So I think that's what it's all about. I think the network effect, when we're succeeding with that, like as MasterCard as well, like then we can truly make a difference. Whether that is within the green field, so trying to overall make a difference in the world, that is also something that we are leveraging our network effect to be able to truly scale it, and then we can make a difference. And one of the partnerships we have done more rather recently around that and related to Cecilia's area is Economy, for example, which is a local startup taking the carbon footprint. So based on your spend, you will get your carbon footprint. And in that sense, we complement each other. So it's a local fintech that we're taking global, leveraging the network effect so that everyone globally can get a view on their carbon footprint and what type of effect they have to the environment overall. So that's just one example how you can partner.
Yeah, I would
Very
like to
interesting.
say that network effects are, of course, really crucial because that's how we and our partners find each other, of course, in those networks and in those forums where we share our work. That's, of course, where partners find each other.
Very good. I think we are running out of time here, so that was really interesting. So thank you very much to the panel for participating. If I was to summarize, just super briefly, I think one key aspect here, we all agree that partnerships are super important, but we probably wouldn't be on this panel if we didn't. But I think the key thing is that if you do want to have partnerships that actually deliver value, you have to have some kind of shared vision. It's not enough to just sign on a piece of paper, and it's not enough if it's just a transactional partnership. There has to be some kind of shared direction for where are we actually going with the collaboration itself. I think I'll just leave it on that, really. So
Perfect.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anders.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter, Cecilia. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.